Okay, we're good and live. Okay. So you first call the order.
All right, thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we have a public hearing on special exception 001-25 submitted by Julie and Joseph Kuhlman, 16700 Bud Road, Poolesville, Maryland. This special exception is a request to amend special exception 00214 to allow for the raising of livestock. This property is located in the Poolesville 2+ acre zone, PTR -2+. This application is made pursuant to the Poolesville Zoning Code Appendix B, Section 10D2, to authorize a special exception and Section 4B use chart in the Poolesville 2+ acre zone, PTR 2+. The public hearing file contains the following exhibits: application for special exception, affidavit of posting, Poolesville Board of Zoning Appeals notice of public hearing mailed to adjoining and confronting property owners, copy of the Frederick News Post with the notice of public hearing dated March 19th and March 26, 2025, and recommendations of the Poolesville Planning Commission dated March 12th, 2025.
All right. So on behalf of staff, I'm going to read the staff memo that you all received. And so we're going to go through some backgrounds and then the recommendation. Oh, I grabbed the wrong memo first. Okay. On January 31st, 2025, the applicants, Julie, and I include Jasmine, applied to amend special exception 002-14 for the property at 16700 Bud Road to allow the raising of livestock. The property is zone PTR 2+, and livestock raising falls under the definition of animal boarding placed in the zoning ordinance, which is a special exception use in the PTR 2+ zone. This is an amendment to the property's current special exception to ensure that all uses are compatible. So the current use is as a landscape business and residence for the Kuhlmans, so this is tied to that. What specifically applies in this case for the special exception is the wellhead protection requirements in the town code. And so livestock keeping has basically three requirements that are spelled out in the code. One is to provide a description and estimate of the average and maximum number of livestock that will be yarded or housed on the property. Two, or B, is provide evidence that a nutrient management plan for the animal waste has been completed. And C, the submitted plan designates any waste holding facilities or application sites within the wellhead protection area. The Planning Commission recommendation, the applicant twice appeared before the Planning Commission and provided a nutrient management plan. On March 12, 2025, the Planning Commission voted to recommend approval of this special exception, which is discussed in the next section of the memo. Staff analysis. The staff reviewed the town code and sought further information from the county and the town hydrologist. Town engineer John Strong met with the Montgomery County Ag Services Director, and here are a few highlights of that discussion. The state of Maryland and Montgomery County have one animal unit per acre requirement in the zoning. Another consideration is the water consumption for a cow, which is only about 10 gallons per day. The applicant will also have to follow the animal husbandry rules in Montgomery County. The town hydrologist made several recommendations per the wellhead protection regulations, recommendations that the Planning Commission accepted and recommended to the BZA as conditions on their recommendation. These are: one, that the fenced-in area, as detailed, is about 1.99 acres based on one animal unit per acre. So that means basically one animal unit is 1,000 pounds, as is standard. The applicant should be limited to no more than 2 animal units. The nutrient management plan, which should clearly specify that the manure will be collected regularly, stored in a metal bin with a cover, and then disposed of off-site by a waste management company. The nutrient management plan should also specify where the waste collection bin will be located, and this was in relation to the location of well 9, so that it would be towards the southern boundary of the property. And then for any, another recommendation was that this special exception not be transferred with the sale of the property. So all of those were what was recommended by the Planning Commission, and the nutrient management plan that the applicant submitted conforms to these recommendations as well. And the applicant stipulated to that maximum at the Planning Commission meeting as well. So that was the recommendation, and staff concurs with the Planning Commission's recommendation. And then, on a related note, we had two neighbors to the applicant who both expressed support for the applicant's application. One was from Caroline Taylor, which is a note that I put before all of you and was sent to Jay and I by Wade. And then there was the Highfields, whose first names escape me at the moment, also testified at the first Planning Commission. Wes, yep. Testified at the first Planning Commission hearing that they attended, also in support and more or less discussed some of the parameters that were later discussed in the staff report and such, and that can be found in the minutes for the February 12th meeting. So that concludes the staff report.
Okay, thank you. So at this time, if you could come up forward, please, and state your name and address for the record.
I'm Julie, and this is Jasmine Coolman. We're at 16700 Bud Road, Poolesville, Maryland, 20837.
Could you speak into the microphone a little bit? Wait.
Julie and Jasmine Coolman, 16700 Bud Road.
You could just present what your plan.
I'm going to let her talk because this is more her project, and then I'll concur afterwards.
Okay.
Go ahead, you got it. They're not going to bite you.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Coolman. Hi, my name is Jasmine Coolman. Thank you for this opportunity to speak here today. I've been showing longhorn cattle since I was 6 years old. This has given me a responsibility for handling animals and as a passion when being involved in a farming community. I have learned a lot from this responsibility, and I would love to learn more by owning my own Texas Longhorn. Texas Longhorns are one of the gentlest animals you can meet. They were the first cattle in America, but we slowly bred the horn out of our animals to grow faster for meat production. The meat from these animals is also a lot healthier to traditional beef, and although mine would be a pet, I also think it is good to spread the education of these magical animals. I always knew I would one day get my own Longhorn and would love to raise my own and watch it grow into an adult and give it everything it needs, and I feel like I'm ready to learn more by owning a Texas Longhorn. I've been donated a Longhorn from Mr. Keith Scott and his wife, who I met through NETLA, as they own a working ranch, and Keith is a judge at several events, and I'm honored for this opportunity. For the longest time, I've watched girls my age show and own their own Longhorns, and I couldn't help thinking I want to do that too. And I know it comes with a lot of work that I promised my parents to keep up with, but when I show, I don't get the same bond as the people who own their own. And I am so lucky to live in the Ag Reserve in Montgomery County, where owning these animals can be possible. So I am hoping that the town makes this girl's ag dreams come true, and hopefully I can spark more interest in the youth to love these animals. Thank you for taking the time to hear my request, and I look forward to going on this new journey by owning my own animal and promoting the breed and our town in the process.
Thank you.
So I guess that's the long and short of it, really. I heard the Planning Commission's recommendation to you all. The only thing I would want to consider was the sale of the property, because honestly, this will be set up as a homestead now with a barn and a lot of fencing. So if we should decide to sell the property, I agree the new owners should have to come before the board to say what they're going to raise and all of that. But that's where the house will be set up as a homestead in that case, as it will take most of the back and side yard going forward. But y'all have any questions for us?
I do.
You're good. You can just,
Oh.
the new system, you don't have to press it.
Oh. So I just got a question. You have two?
So one would be her pet that's being donated. We call it a pet because you train it and show it. It's kind of like a dog, just a lot bigger. The other we'd be raising for our personal consumption.
Oh, okay. So you have two, and you have 2 acres you're going to fence off. Has anybody looked into the future thinking, you all own like 15 acres, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
You think you're going to expand it?
We'd love to, but unfortunately with afforestation, the sad part is we own 15 acres. Half of our acreage is now in forestation protection in town.
Okay,
We couldn't.
okay, cool.
I mean, we would love to. I mean, I would love to. One day, I mean, I'm going to be old and have animals and vegetables and fruit trees because they don't talk back. So, but it probably just won't be able to happen here because,
Okay.
yeah, we can't expand there.
Mel, do you have any questions?
You're 100% positive that the animal won't be able to breach the fence?
No, nobody in their right mind on any farm would ever guarantee 100% that animal, as you see, we have how many dogs simply loose in town? No, we couldn't guarantee that. We can, we have a network of, in Poolesville and surrounding area of a lot of 4-H families. As you see, when cows get loose down on Weishi or wherever, we all get together, get out our 4-wheelers and our ropes and get the animal back. Luckily, if you know where we are, we're right next to the Jameson Farm, huge field. This field used to also be a cow field. So most likely, if an animal that size gets loose, it's gonna go straight to that field and start. So I don't, we also have cameras, I think it was in your packet, already installed all over the property. So we're well aware whether we're on the property or not, where everything is the only guarantee I can really give on that one.
And Kavita, any questions?
Is there any problem of bugs or anything in the future?
Again, another question I don't quite know how to answer. Bugs, yeah, I mean, yeah, flies, there's manure. There are bags with stuff to hang out for the, I mean, I'm not sure what your concern, for the animals or for people or for what?
I mean, definitely not harming to the people, nearby people.
No, they don't attract any insects that would be harming to people. Manure, of course, attracts flies. Like we stated in the nutrient plan, we'd be scooping that up daily. No more so than if you walk right around the corner, which Carolyn Taylor is my neighbor who sent the email today, I believe, in favor for it. Lives right across from a big horse farm. You can't even walk 2 paces on that farm without there being a pile there. And if that's not affecting anything, 1 or 2 cows is not going to change that environment.
Thanks.
I don't believe.
So, Jasmine, is this a commitment that you're willing to undertake?
Yes.
I mean, I know this is something that excites you now, but a few years from now, are you still going to be willing to take this commitment on?
Yes.
Okay, because it is a big commitment. I lived on a ranch for a while, so I know what it's like, so. Any other questions? The only other question I had is, you are aware that both of you are liable or committed to whatever you say today, you know?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, all right.
I kind of live my life by that. I live by
Okay,
what
all
I
right,
say all the
okay.
time, so yes, ma'am.
Yeah, just so you don't come back, well, I never said that. Yeah. But anyway, all right. So are we willing to take a vote? Sure. Okay, all those in favor, raise your hands.
With the conditions?
Oh, yes, with the conditions.
oh, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
with
Yeah.
the conditions, which are very important. Let me see what, let me find that.
It's in my memo, which is stated, special exemption 00125 staff report.
Yeah, right here.
And it's on page 2.
Yes. Okay, all right. Conditions are the hours of,
And that's for the other, here, I'll just give you
Come on, this right.
it was probably
Yeah.
one.
the, here, this is the
Okay,
ones
yep.
for this one.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Number 1, the fenced-in area is about 1.99 acres based on 1 animal per acre, 1 animal unit, or 1,000 pounds. The applicant should be limited to no more than 2 animal units. Number 2, the nutrient management plan should clearly specify that the manure will be collected regularly, stored in a metal bin with a cover, and then disposed of off-site by a waste management company. 3, the nutrient management plan should also specify where this waste collection bin will be located, hopefully towards the southern property boundary, away from the creek and far from well 9. 4, another suggestion is that the special exception may not be transferred with the sale of the property. Are you willing to undertake those conditions?
Yes. Are we gonna, can we talk about that last one? I guess that's what I was bringing up to see if that was talkable.
Your preference is to transfer the,
My preference is that because our original exception for the business is transferable, anyone who buys this property, if we were ever to sell, is gonna wanna use it for its maximum benefit for the size and the stuff. So if we've got a barn on it with fencing, someone's not gonna use that area for a dog. So it would be later in the benefit to whoever would own it next to be able to keep that special exception, with the understanding that they would still have to come back to the town at some point, I assume, and just like with the other special exception, if a new company moved in, they could operate under the same guidelines, but as far as I know, they still have to present.
Yeah, Jay, do you want to speak to that? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. I think that the way you would do this is we would just adopt it with these conditions. And if somebody bought the house and wanted to have 2 Longhorns and under the same conditions and continue on, that would be no problem and we wouldn't need to see them again. But if they said, I want to do something different, they would have to come back and amend the approval just like anyone else.
Right.
So I think that it doesn't harm it that it continues because the continuing state would have to be what the current state is. And if they change it, we would then have to have another hearing to amend it.
Satisfactory with everyone? Okay.
yeah, I think we should accept all the conditions.
Okay. Are we ready to take a vote now? Or you have another question?
I'm ready.
You're ready? Ready?
Yep,
Okay.
I'm ready.
All those in favor, raise their hand by saying aye.
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 Okay, motion is passed.
So I'm not clear though on that. On that, so what Jay said was that it would transfer, but as long as the conditions didn't change. But then
It's-
I heard Mr. Hitchens say that you wanted the conditions as they were written, yes, or what Jay was saying.
I was just confused. What did the planning commissions, or Jay
Yeah,
say about it?
so,
I will write the opinion that basically says that the current status can be transferred, but any change of the status would require BZA approval.
Okay, all right, very good.
All right.
I just wanted to make sure we all knew what we were voting
yeah,
on.
So just to be clear, 'cause I want to be real clear about this, is that if you sell the property, somebody buys the property, the barns and everything stay, but the condition is they would have to be raising the same as what was applied for.
Right, 2,000,
So they,
Yeah.
so if they
2,000
wanted to
pounds
raise
to
horses
animals.
or something else, it would be a change in the condition.
right?
yep.
Okay.
Okay. I think we're all in agreement then. Okay.
Yeah, okay,
Then we're good to go. So Jay's going to write the opinion. It is not, it takes about a week to write the opinion. That is what is the actual approval. So you'll be sent a copy of that approval that is signed once that is written. So it's not final until it's written. It's basically just the proviso there.
Don't worry, I'm not running and getting an animal tonight.
Yeah. All right.
That's it.
Yep, you're good.
Okay, good
Yep.
luck.
okay. So next we have,
So we do have to, this was a discussion that Jay and I had before. Because this hearing is posted as being 7:30, technically we can't start the next hearing until it's, not yours, this one, until 7:30. So if we want to just take a quick break for a moment and then we'll,
Minutes, yeah.
and then we can do it that way. That's correct, Jay, right? That's what we were saying earlier?
Yeah, we have to wait till 7:30. I guess if we wanted to do something different in the future, we could advertise all the hearings at 7 o'clock. But the problem is then nobody knows when to show up.
Right.
Nobody usually likes that. So
Yeah. Okay, that's perfectly fine. So we'll just take a break, and then we'll start at 7:30 for your hearing. Okay. Jay, I'm going to put this on mute for a second. Oh, it's not working.
We're ready, don't you?
I think we can just take it just a moment more, but yeah, I mean, because as we technically talked about, the hearing starts at,
I'm just looking at.
yeah, it's right in there, so I say if we're good there, then let's begin. Yep.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we have a public hearing on Special Exception 002-25, submitted by Maria Hussein, 17001 Bennett Way, Poolesville, Maryland. This special exception is a request to allow a home occupation special use. This property is located in the Poolesville residential half-acre zone. This application is made pursuant to the Poolesville Zoning Code, Appendix B, Section 10D2, to authorize a special exception and Section 3D use chart in the Poolesville residential half-acre zone PR 1/2. The public hearing file contains the following exhibits. 1, application for special exception. 2, affidavit of posting. 3, Poolesville Board of Zoning Appeals notice of public hearing mailed to adjoining and confronting property owners. 4, copy of the Frederick News Post with a notice of public hearing dated March 19th and March 26, 2025. And 5, recommendations of the Poolesville Planning Commission dated March 12th, 2025.
Right. So on behalf of the staff, I'm going to read the staff report. So first, some background. The applicant, Maria Hussein, is requesting a special exception to allow her to have a home-based pediatric practice at her residence, 17001 Bennett Way. Under the code, this would be considered a home occupation special use and therefore requires a special exception. The code defines a home occupation special use as more intensive than a customary or incidental home occupation use, or use that requires or may require additional off-street parking. Another part of the definition of a home occupation special use is it having one, but no more than 2, non-residential employees. And in this case, there'd be 1 non-residential employee. And just to clarify a little bit, what basically the code is saying is that a special home occupancy use is one in which you're either receiving either clients or suppliers or things like that to the home regularly, versus a type of business like being an accountant or being another type of professional who would work from home but not receive clients or not receive supplies or things like that. That's how the code differentiates between those two types of things. Other considerations that the Board of Zoning Appeals must consider in relation to this type of use is whether it adversely affects the general plan for the physical development in the town and the comprehensive plan, whether it poses a health or safety concern for residents or workers in the area affected by the special exception. Yeah, you're good. The Planning Commission recommendation. The applicant appeared before the Planning Commission and gave testimony on March 12th, 2025. The Planning Commission voted to recommend approval of the special exception, which will be discussed in a moment. Staff analysis. The applicant proposed that this use have only 1 non-residential employee. The applicant will limit the number of appointments to 1, appointments as in for the patients coming into the house, to 1 every half hour or no more than 2 appointments every hour, and will provide parking on the driveway to accommodate the patient parking. Further, this type of use will have a limited impact on neighbors and the health and safety of the neighborhood. The Planning Commission reviewed the application and discussed the conditions for approval. The results of that discussion was that the Planning Commission recommended that the BZA approve the special exception with 2 conditions. 1, the hours of operation be limited to 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturdays. The applicant will limit the number of patients to 2 per hour, and off-site parking will be provided on the driveway of the applicant's residence. And then the staff recommendation is that the staff concurs with the Planning Commission recommendation for approval.
Okay, thank you.
Hmm?
Did we receive any letters from any of the adjoining neighbors?
No, we did not receive any letters. If you would like to have comments,
Well, I just live across the street. I got the letter.
yeah, come up to the microphone.
And
I live across the street.
if you could state your name and
Oh,
address for the.
Randolph Dalrymple, 17100 Hughes Road, Poolesville, Maryland. directly across the street.
Okay.
I got a letter in the mail saying something was going on, so I wanted to come up and see exactly what the exception was and what we were exactly expecting. I know you have a nice driveway and a nice house. You guys keep everything really nice, and I see no problem with that. 2 an hour seems like quite a bit to have people. Do you really expect 2 people an hour all day?
Yeah,
Really?
pretty much.
Okay, and what is it that you offer? What is it that you do?
I'm a doctor.
Uh-huh.
This is going to be a clinic which offers the services to the kids.
Kids? Okay, so you'll have parents dropping off kids and stuff like that? and
No,
pretty
the
much-
parents will come with the kids for the appointment, and then we will see the kids and they will be gone.
In the driveway itself, and they'll pull in
Yeah.
another driveway? Okay. Well, I wish you the absolute best. Okay, yeah. I
I'm
see
trying
no-
to do something for the town. We don't have a pediatrician in the
Yeah,
town, so I'm
I
trying
see
to
no
come up
issue with that. I just had to come and see exactly what was going on, make sure it wasn't gonna be a big deal and it wasn't gonna impact us or anything like
No,
that, but.
Randall, nothing, I think.
But, good for you. So there, okay. That's all I needed.
All right, thank you. Ralph, do you have any questions?
I have no questions, thank you.
Darcy?
I had 2 questions. One, well, Randy already addressed the traffic. I drove by your house today to see how they were parked. So you're gonna have one, if you got 2 per hour, you're gonna have each car parking each side in front of your doors? Is that the way?
No. I have a driveway,
Yeah?
and that can accommodate 4 cars actually at a time.
But what happens if one is in the front
That's
and
what
they
I was-
get blocked in?
That's what I was going to say. So that's why we're gonna limit the appointment to 2 at a time, so that the 2 can park and they can easily get out.
Oh, okay.
That's the plan.
That's okay. Second
You see
question.
what I'm saying? Like, we will have 2 cars parked side by side.
Yes,
Both will have space on their back to just easily get out.
okay.
Yeah.
What about the people that just show up?
It's an appointment
You,
based.
you say it's an appointment, but people like me who get sick and I know where the doctors are and I show up. If I'm sick enough, I just show up.
So for the pediatric clinic to function, they still have to call and make an appointment.
Okay.
Even for the sick
You'll
visit.
just shoo them away.
We don't take,
Okay.
we don't take show-offs.
Right,
Wait,
okay.
have to.
Do I get an exclusion for that?
Well, if you are a kid,
Okay.
how
Yeah.
old are you, Randall?
Well, I'm gonna be 65, but I do have a granddaughter now that's going on a year.
If you call me early in the morning, I'll accommodate you on as soon as possible.
Well, I'm just
How
saying,
about
if I have a physical emergency, I know where to go now, is
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Oh, of course.
So, okay,
Even
thank
if
you.
I don't have a clinic, you're more.
And you don't need to.
Well, I appreciate that, thank you.
You're not putting out a sign or anything?
For the clinic,
Yeah.
yes, there will be a sign.
Oh,
You are allowed by code to have, if you
Okay.
have an occupation, to have one sign. There are limitations on that sign in the
Okay.
code, but you are allowed one by the code.
okay.
What sign are you planning?
Just a sign saying this is pediatric clinic, the
And
name
you're
of
gonna
the
put
clinic,
that
that's
in
pretty
front of
much
the
it.
garage or in front of the house?
I think I'm gonna put it on the corner of
On the corner? Yeah,
Actually,
that's
for the
what I was
people to
thinking.
see.
Not a big illuminated thing or something like that, okay.
Under the code, you're not allowed illuminated signs.
I'm not planning to have a
Yes.
tacky clinic. Trust me, it's gonna be a very modern clinic if it's anything.
But that's a separate permit, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay,
Kavita?
that's it.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
I have a question. Do you have any plan for how to dispose biohazardous material, or is it
Oh,
going in the
that
regular
is
trash?
Free claim. That is by the county and the state law that biohazard material will be picked up by the biohazard companies. It's not gonna be disposed of anywhere in the Poolesville. We can't, but doctors cannot do that.
Okay, so you already have a
We will
plan.
have biohazard containers in the clinic because will not pass the state codes and the county codes unless we have the biohazard containers put in specific places in the clinic, which has been picked up and manipulated only by the certified biohazard technicians to be picked up.
Great.
The only- One question I have is, do you have current patients now, I mean, that you're seeing?
No, it's gonna be it's only for the Poolesville population.
Okay.
And I'm only starting it because Poolesville do not have a pediatrician. People drive 30, 40 minutes to take their kids to the pediatrician.
And what are the ages for pediatrics? I mean, I think of little kids, but it probably goes to like 12 or so, or?
Sorry?
What's the ages of,
So from 0 to 21.
Oh, so really little, yeah, really little, okay.
Yeah.
The only other question is, do you realize that your testimony is binding?
Of course.
Okay, all right. Any other,
It's my license on the line. I know that.
all right. No other questions? Are we ready to vote? Okay, all in favor?
Just note the conditions
Oh, yes.
as
Thank you for
specified.
reminding me. I even have it in front of me.
Yeah, so I can give it to you again.
No, I.
Just to let you guys know, I was planning the hours actually from 8 to 5, but the planning commission last time, because of the convenience of the Poolesville resident, do it 7 to 7.
Okay.
And not is,
Yeah,
yeah.
and that's totally fine. This is what you are
Long day.
allowing, and if
Actually-
you want to modify.
See that already.
Yeah, actually, it's
But this-
really good.
This is what you're saying
Before
for the
and after
emergencies.
hours.
Let's say if a
Yeah.
kid who is, I'm
Yeah.
seeing, has an
The
emergency
conditions
after
listed
5,
here are
then they
one,
drive all the way to, then what's the point of the clinic? So that's why the extended hours were allowed just for that. I'm sorry.
Just 1 second, so.
okay.
Sorry.
The conditions that are recommended and would be part of this vote is, one, the hours of operation are limited to 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday through Friday, and 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturdays. 2, the applicant will limit the number of patients to 2 per hour, and off-site parking will be provided on the driveway of the applicant's residence. And you're in agreement with that, correct? Okay. All right, now are we ready to vote?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, it's been approved. Thank you.
And then just to note, as we talked about with the last opinion or a decision, it will be reduced into writing by the town attorney, so that takes about a week or so, and it's at that point that it's official, once it gets signed, and we'll email you a copy of the signed, written opinion that goes with this hearing, okay?
Okay, Nancy, I have a question.
Yeah.
Let's say after that, after this all is done, for the county, do I have to go to the county after that? Or-
So, yeah, you can go through the county process, either with the, I don't know entirely for the practice what you have to do, whether it's with the county health department or whoever, but you can proceed with the county at this time, basically, because you now have the zoning approval to do it.
No, that's what I was going to ask. I don't have problem county approving the clinic. I'm just asking in terms of the zoning from
Yeah,
the county.
no.
Do I need it from the county?
You don't need it from the county.
I don't
This
need it.
this
This is it.
this is it. Yep.
I got it. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Who has kids? Let me know.
I have to.
Oh, I'll take it.
7 and 9 year. That's why I'm so happy.
Okay.
Okay, and before we close,
Yeah. No. Go ahead.
okay,
Good luck.
Take care.
good night. Any old business?
So
All right, Rand.
we've no old business.
Okay. Any new business?
So we will potentially have the development that is currently being under construction. There might be a few variances for specific lots on that development. We are currently reviewing that, and that will be presented at this month's Planning Commission meeting. And so just be on the lookout for an email about scheduling that hearing, hopefully within the month or so, depending on your guys' schedule, of course. But I just want to give you that heads up, just so that you're aware.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. If there's no other new business, we're adjourned at, it's about 18 minutes to 8.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone.
Just going to end